Well, what the hell? I haven't seen one of those outfits for a long, long time. Takes me back. What do you want, human? Something else you wanted? Yeah, I'm an ugly mutant. I also run this place. You got a problem with that? You want to fight me? Take your best shot, human. Good. Keep your nose clean and you won't get into trouble. I'm Marcus. Help build the place. Now I'm sheriff. Long story. Want it short or the whole thing? Right. Me and a human named Jacob built this place around that old bank about 60 years ago. Anyone's welcome here. Long as they keep the peace. Right. After the master and the vats were destroyed, I wandered a bit. No place to go. One day got attacked by this fool wearing power armor. That was Jacob, from the Brotherhood of Steel. He'd sworn some oath to destroy muties. We tussled for a while. Probably a day or two. After a while, we just started laughing. What was the point? And we became friends. Headed off together. Then, other people started following us. Guess they figured if they weren't safe with a mutie and a steel knight, safe just wasn't going to happen. Uranium mine. I knew there was one around from old maps. Now, anybody's welcome here, long as they act right. Others might not think much of us, but nobody's more free than we are. There you go. Oh, what sinkhole are you from? Muties and normals made peace a long time ago. What's news? What's news? Well, getting kind of worried about one of our caravan guys, Chad. He might be skimming. You up to checking him out for me? My undying gratitude, right? That ain't good enough for you? Then get out. Got a little trouble with the mine. If you're interested in helping fix it, go talk to Zayas, the mine foreman. Usually at the mine, sometimes the saloon. Somebody busted 2 lunatics out of the jail and the bank. Find them. Tell me, and I'll stuff them back in. What exactly do you want? Okay, we got some folks missing. No idea what's happened. Find them, get $500. Great. Let me know when you found something. Right? Yeah? What? Tunnels under the city. Guess it's not that surprising with the mines around. But you'll keep looking around for those folks. Right? They're dead? Damn. I'll tell the families myself. Well, here's your reward, $500. Thanks for your time. Oh, hey, I know you said you'd do this for free, but take this as our thanks. Right. Me and my deputies will take it from here, and thanks. I don't forget things like this. What is it people got against mutants? We'll be on the lookout. Thanks. The town owes you. And I never forget things like this. Keep your eye on them, will you? I want to catch him red-handed. Well, in that case, we'd better be sure to stop him. Want to come along? You want me to come along with you? What the hell? I'm too old to settle down. We going now? There's too much going on right now. When things calm down, then I just might. Damn right. Best friend I ever had. Hell yes, I would have. What a great mutant he would have been. We had this argument all the time. I miss that hard head. You're talking a long time ago. The world's moved on. You want to hear ancient history? Right. Well, never really hated humans. We just had a better way. These new governments, they think they've got all the answers. Blah, blah. Been there, seen that. Got the scars. The master wanted to elevate everyone to his level so we wouldn't fight each other anymore. He was convinced we wouldn't do it by ourselves. Couldn't. We had to be forced to evolve. While Jacob was alive, I thought the master was wrong. But it seems that while some men can heed the call and rise above it all, most just run away. When Jacob heard the call and embraced it, so did the Vault Dweller. But no matter how many rise above, the masses will always destroy them. Right? The master just wanted everyone to see clearly. The Vault Dweller ended that dream. You're right. If all humans fought for what they believed in like that, we wouldn't have needed the master's plan in the first place. And don't forget, I knew the folks involved. They were the best humanity had to offer. Your people are going to tell the story a different way. Right? The original Vault Dweller? You mean the one who killed the master and destroyed the vats? Not a problem. Like I said, that was a long time ago. Not a problem. No reason to be, unless you cross me or someone in my town. Be civilized. That's all I ask. Well, let me make this clear. Nothing's going to happen here unless you start it. Just stay civilized while you're in my town. Well, my memories of being a human aren't as clear as they once were. But I remember pettiness, hatred, jealousy. I prefer being a mutant. It was flawed. We should have only taken the best. Look around. Most mutants didn't have the mind or will to withstand the strain. If only we had chosen better. You ever get back there, tell them the war's over. It's been over a long time. Thanks for your help. Could have been trouble. We took their weapons cache and disabled their bombs. Right. Too many people. I've done my traveling with a horde. I thought you were one of the good ones. I ain't coming with you. I'm not coming with you right now. Sorry. You want me back now? What do you want? I'm all set. Got nothing that'll slow us down. You got anything to help? Maybe you should have a look at this. Didn't your folks explain this to you? What? Where did you hear that? Nope. Well, not now. It takes a few years after being dipped to get the juices flowing again. Why? I'll just stay here and tighten the vices on my shoulder.
Oh, come on. Fine, whatever. Still want to try out that new burst fire technique I've been working on, though. This weapon? Oh, sorry about that, beautiful. It just seems to pop out all the time, you know? All right. You ain't hitting on me, are you? Whatever you say, gorgeous. Well, all right. But I hear it's the guys in the middle who always get it first. All right. I'll just watch your ass. Back. Carefully. All right. I'll keep an eye on things back here. Gives me a good position to practice my burst fire technique. Do I have BO or something? Sheesh. So, you finally came around, huh, beautiful? I knew you would. All right, I'll join up with you again. So, you finally came around, huh? I knew you would. You need me. Yeah, what? Can't you see I'm thinking here? So, you finally wise up, beautiful? Finally realize that I'm the only one for you? Ow! Hurts! It hurt! Oh, wait. No, I'm pretty much okay. Stings a little. I'm dying over here. Give me a stim pack, or 2, or 3. Is that you? I can't see. Losing consciousness. Help me. It's around on Golgotha somewhere. I'll let you know when I see it. Yeah, what's on your mind? My finest little addiction. What about it? We've been over this. I'm not here to be your memory. We've been over this. Look. I'll be your love slave, beautiful, but I ain't gonna be your memory. In my lab? Next question? Christ. Well, when I came across the Mordino family way back when, they were farming peyote cacti and trying to sell it to tourists as the Reno experience. Total bullshit. I mean, peyote? Come on. It isn't even half the strength of, say, old school LSD. Plus, a peyote trip is too long. The profits in fast turnaround and high addiction. Like, barbiturates before the big one, you know? Right. Can I finish? Problem is, in the new climate, we can't grow most of the veggies needed for the best drugs. Couldn't grow coca plants, opium poppies. Oh man, did we try. So, we figured our best bet was shrooms. Right, Sherlock? And we tried. So we figured our best bet was shrooms. You can grow them if you use plenty of Brahmin shit as fertilizer. Plus, hallucinogens have low overhead. So I started experimenting with derivatives of lysergic acid, diethylamide, and psilocybin. Still, I really wanted to whip up a hard hitter that didn't rely on veggie extracts. Man, was I an idiot, because the answer turned out to be the extracts. Or more precisely, what they were growing in. You see, old Jesus Mordino wanted something that the Redding miners would get addicted to fast and make them work harder. So I said, no prob, right? Well, it wasn't too hard to come up with a good upper. A sample of that pre-war protein extract corrupted and bam, decent amphetamine. Redding? Town full of gold diggers. Mordino wants to control it all. So he comes to me in his wheezing voice and says, Myron, make me something that'll give me Redding. And I say, okay, what time frame we looking at? He goes, of course, yesterday. Crime lords. Want everything done fast and sloppy. At least they don't have a marketing department. Before the big ones, some meat companies were experimenting with a cheap protein extract for growing food, but they had to ditch it. One little skin bacteria contaminates it, and it's all screwed. The contaminated version acted like an amphetamine when ingested. A little side effect. Don't ask. It's, technical. I didn't have to. When they first screwed up, they contaminated tons of that shit. And rather than ditch it, they fed it to their Brahmin herds to try and recoup their losses. Close. See, we started experimenting with the Brahmin shit as fertilizer for the shrooms. Except get this, then we noticed the slaves working the fertilizer vats were getting high from the fumes. Right. By putting tons of Brahmin shit in the vats, we found out that the fumes give more than enough of a kick. Eureka. Literally. Of course, we had to test to get the mix right. About 100 slaves? Mostly heart attacks, cerebral hemorrhages, psychotic episodes, that sort of thing. Well, not on purpose. I mean, slaves are expensive. Still, we made the money back in the first few months, so the Mordino family wasn't too pissed at me. You're getting bent at me over a bunch of slaves? Hey, we had to make sure Jet wouldn't kill our customers. Oh, how quaint. A cure, sure. You go cold turkey. Of course, I made sure that was a real difficult option with Jet. Beautiful. Look, this is drug addiction, not an STD. Only cure is to go cold turkey, and that's a real difficult option with Jet. Oh, for fuck's sake. It can't be done, all right? It's a goddamn drug, not a bacterial infection. Nice try, no dice. Jet ain't blocked that easy. Once it's in your system, it ain't coming out. Christ, that has got to be the dumbest. Well, maybe it would work, but I'm pretty sure Jet would just chew right through that shit. Now, why the hell are we even talking about this? Where would you get your hands on endorphin blockers anyway? Maybe Vault City. They have a pretty good medical warehouse. A lot of old pre-Holocaust bases also used to stock them to prevent combat drug addiction. Huh. You'd have better luck convincing a rad scorpion to part with its tail than get Vault City to give up anything. Do I look like a cartographer? You want to scour the desert for him? You go right ahead. Ooh, with a wit like that, you're sure to wise up and go for me. Beautiful. You'll see. Excuse me. Wait for you here? Are you kidding? Tell me you're kidding. Oh, are you fucking serious? Whoa, hey, you keep me around? I'll do you a favor. Huh? What do you say? Oh, so what was that, like tribal humor? Yeah, hardy har, pretty fucking funny. Okay, I'll wait here. Whew. You could show me a little more respect, you know. I am Myron. I've heard of a secret building with lots of strange vegetation around it. If I'm with you, I can point it out on a map. Could be I know one of Mordino's little stashes in Golgotha outside of Reno. Lots of chips, lots of drugs. Just gotta keep me around. I'll carry more of your stuff. No hassles when you ask me to make drugs. Just keep me around. Okay. Can I make drugs? I'm Myron. What do you need? You can't get enough, huh? What do you need? I'm gonna need some rad scorpion venom sacs first. Ironic, innit? Oh, well, I'd love to, beautiful, but I need rad scorpion tails. Oh, well. Shouldn't be too hard. How many bottles of antidote you want? Oh, for crying out loud. Ever think it might be easier to just stay away from the friggin' scorpions in the first place, genius? How many you want this time? Anything for you, beautiful. How many you want? Done. Here you go. There, that's it. No more of that shit, all right? Next time, go find some backwater medicine man to do it. Done. Here you go, beautiful. Sorry. Ain't got the raw materials I need. Don't really want to get 'em either. Piece of cake. How many packs you want? Hey, genius. Ever cross your mind that it might be easier just to stay out of trouble, huh? Okay, how many? Just tell me how much and where you want it, beautiful. Sorry, we just ain't got what I need to whip up a stem. Let's see. Yeah, you'll need some xander root, some rock flour, and an empty hypo. Of course I could. Except we ain't got what I need. Some of that mutated fruit for the citric acid, a splash of Nuka-Cola, and a normal stim pack. Repeat after me. Myron's a genius. How many packs you want? How about stay out of trouble? Never mind, obviously too tough a concept. How many this time? Myron's your man, beautiful. How many? Who are you? And how the hell did you get in here? Where are those jackass guards? Why, hello there, beautiful. What can Myron do for you? So, who are you? Spill it or I'll have the guards beat it out of you. Great, one of the mental midgets from upstairs. Look, I ain't got much here, but you can take whatever you want. Sure, you bet. Here you go. Here's all of it. Now, you go back to your stall now, okay? Abso-fucking-lutely. You bet. You and I are gonna be the best of friends, okay? Of course you are. Have a seat on the bed. Can I get you a drink? Maybe a little jet? Excellent. Here you go. A little drink. Help you relax. You know what I mean? No, hey, wait a minute. Stay. Have a drink first. We can talk. Be friends. You do want us to be friends, right? I'm sure we'll be friends. Now, you just relax, sweet meat. You must have the constitution of a Brahmin. Get out of here, beautiful. Guards ain't worth the chips you pay for 'em. Well, my retarded friend, we've been introduced, so why don't you get the hell out of here now? Yeah, you bet, pal. Yeah, you bet, honey. You and me, friends forever and ever. Or the next injection. Now get the hell out of here! God damn it. I told Jesus those two morons couldn't guard a stone. So, you iced them, huh? Gonna kill me, too? Whoa. Hot and deadly. So you iced them, huh? You gonna kill me, too? Sure, pal. Sure, lady. You bet, beautiful. I can give you drugs. You looking to fly? All right. Here you go. Now, will you leave me alone? Maybe. Who the hell are you? Say, you one of Mordino's new whores or just a big fan of Myron? Ooh, you got a name to go with those legs, beautiful? Who the hell are you? I'm someone who's been looking for someone like you, beautiful. And you are? Well, that's so. Well, why are you here? Huh? Thought you could hit Myron up for some free drugs? Whatever, beautiful. Want some drugs to break the ice, or should we just get down to some mattress dancing? You stupid? Jet, motherfucker, jet! You're talking to its maker, its creator, its God. Are you stupid? Jet, bitch, jet. You're talking to its maker, its creator, its God. You ever heard of Jet, beautiful? Well, you're talking to its maker, its creator, its God. I did so make Jet? Well, you think this lab is for show? Sorry to prove you wrong, beautiful, but look around. This lab ain't just for show. Damn right I did. I make the shit everybody wants and can't get enough of. Why? 'Cause I could. Family Mordino needed a product. Myron makes a product. Mordino makes Myron happy. At least as happy as they're able. Nice little circle of love, huh? You wouldn't understand. It's way above you. Don't you worry your pretty little head about, beautiful. I can give you something else for your head to work on. Pretty much. They give me whores, cash, drugs, my own lab, the creative freedom I need to make magic. But, well, no, it's a good gig. Well, see, the Mordinos don't show Myron the RESPECT, right? I tell them what they should be doing. They say, shut up, Myron, or go back to the lab, Myron. Bastards. They've forgotten I'm the reason they control Reno and the reason why Redding will be sucking to their tit in a few months. Most Mordinos got more hair in their butt than brain cells, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, the Mordinos can't get it through their skulls that I ain't interested in purifying Jet. It does what it's supposed to do. I want to make new drugs, not retool old ones, you know? Their boy wonder leaving town. That'd wake 'em up. Yeah. So, where are we headed, beautiful? So, where are we headed? I like the way you think, beautiful. I like that. Nah, you look full up. Why don't you ditch the tribal? Looks like he takes being a bonehead too seriously. Nah, you look full up. And Myron doesn't hang with mutant trash. No offense, big guy. Nah, you look full up. And, Myron doesn't hang with ghouls. Never know when they're gonna drop a body part in your shoe. Nah, I don't want to hang out with another family. The Mordinos were enough. Lose some baggage and then come talk to me. Yeah, right. Flies wouldn't follow you if you were covered in shit. Forget it. Yeah, I'm listening. All right, beautiful. Why the hell not? Let's blow this popsicle stand. What? You need Myron's resume? I'm the science guy. Know all, see all. Not to mention I can make whatever drugs you need. With the right raw materials. Yeah. Why? You gonna try and prove me wrong, pal? Yeah. Why? You gonna try and prove me wrong, lady? Yeah, but hey, don't get all defensive on me, beautiful. You weren't built for brains, you know. I've forgotten more about pharmaceutical research than you'll ever know. Amateurish? Amateurish? Jet's pure genius, and don't you forget it. And I didn't stumble across it, I made it. 2 words. Brahmin shit. Very good. And that's all you're ever gonna learn, pal. You wanna know? You figure it out. Very good. And that's all you're ever gonna learn, lady. You wanna know? You figure it out. Very good, beautiful. But that's all you're ever gonna learn, so don't trouble your pretty little head about it. Enough talk. Why don't you and me, You sure do ask a lot of goddamn questions. The answer is yeah. Maybe. See, where did you learn all this stuff anyway? You from Vault City or something? Yeah, keep mouthing off, smartass. I could oxidize circles around you. I'm a natural, self-taught. None of that bullshit Vault City purer-than-thou-tude, see? You're a sharp one, beautiful. Raven hair, teeth, claws. So, you learn your shit at Vault City or what? Easy, huh? I'm the best. Twice as good as any of those Vault City pecker checkers. Oh yeah, you're right about that. Easier to learn than that stuff those Vault City pecker checkers would lead you to believe. A city to the northeast. Bunch of genetically pure humans. They got their noses so high in the air they'll drown when it rains. What you want to know? Stables? Oh, we test new kinds of jet here. What about it? Stables? Oh, we test new kinds of jet here. What about it? Beautiful. They're my patrons. They're all right, I guess. You again. So, ready to go? This sucks. What the hell are you talking about? I'd sooner lick Marcus's balls. I'd sooner lick Lenny's wrinkled balls. I'd sooner let that cyberdog bite off my testicles. Beats me. Stop mothering me.
War. War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes. In the 21st century, war was still waged over the resources that could be acquired. Only this time, the spoils of war were also its weapons: petroleum and uranium. For these resources, China would invade Alaska, the U.S. would annex Canada, and the European Commonwealth would dissolve into quarreling, bickering nation-states bent on controlling the last remaining resources on Earth. In 2077, the storm of World War had come again. In 2 brief hours, most of the planet was reduced to cinders, and from the ashes of nuclear devastation, a new civilization would struggle to arise. A few were able to reach the relative safety of the large underground vaults. Your family was part of that group that entered Vault 13. Imprisoned safely behind the large vault door, under a mountain of stone, a generation has lived without knowledge of the outside world. Life in the vault is about to change. You are taken away and slowly returned to normal vault life. But a month later, disaster strikes. Your bones are scraped clean by the desolate wind. Your vault will now surely die, as you have. The darkness of the afterlife is all that awaits you now. May you find more peace in that world than you found in this one. Not even the carrion eaters are interested in your radiated corpse. Your life ends in the wasteland. The radiation has taken its toll. Your death was lingering and extremely painful. Your adventure is done. You fought valiantly, but to no avail. Your twisted and ruined body goes down in a hail of bullets, and thus ends your life in the wasteland. It is done. Vault 13 belongs to the Unity and the Master. Your knowledge of the Vault defenses saved many mutant lives during the attack. You personally made the final kill when you took the life of the Overseer. You will certainly become one of the finest soldiers for the Unity, and your skills will see you rewarded often in the future. You are happy. But there remains the tiniest doubt of what could have been. The death of the Master was the first major step towards ending his mad dream of conquest and enforced peace. But it is the destruction of the vats that neutralizes the mutant threat. Without the ability to create more mutants and enforce their harsh brand of justice, the mutant armies flee to the east, beyond the no man's land. You managed to destroy the vats. Then you killed the Master before he could realize his twisted plans. With the Master gone, his armies flee to the east, in fear of retribution from the remaining normals. The ghouls of Necropolis learn firsthand the final meaning of dehydration as their city succumbs to the desert sands and the water runs out. Without their water-purifying control chip, they do not survive. The ghouls of Necropolis learn how to maintain the repaired water pump, and eventually rediscover many lost secrets of engineering. They form a business, selling this technology to other towns. The mutant attack on Necropolis spares none of its ghoulish inhabitants. After the mutant armies advance, they leave a truly dead city behind them. The followers of the Apocalypse rise to become a major influence in New California. With your help, they gain control of the LA Boneyard. The mutant armies, led into battle by the fierce super-mutants, destroy the followers of the Apocalypse. Barely human carrion feeders pick over the followers' remains. In Shady Sands, Tandy helps her father Aradesh bring a new community and new life out of the broken remains of the world. They are responsible for the New California Republic, whose ideals spread across the land. Aradesh grieves for his slain daughter, Tandy, but eventually builds Shady Sands into a respected community which is prosperous for many years before his untimely death at the hands of a desert raider. Tandy takes control of Shady Sands after the death of her father, Aradesh. Her brilliant, if headstrong, style of leadership makes Shady Sands a powerful force in the years to come. With Aradesh dead and Tandy missing or killed, Shady Sands needs a new leader. After several elections, they find they cannot be governed by a single person and create a guiding council. Shortly afterwards, the raiders regroup and attack Shady Sands, burning the small community to the ground. The mutant army marches as far north as Shady Sands, razing the small town to the ground. Killian Darkwater takes firm control of Junktown, drives out the last of Gizmo's kind, and then enforces his own brand of frontier justice. Life is fair and safe under his law. Junktown becomes the new boom town under the careful and profitable guidance of Don Gizmo. He profits the most and continues to increase the size of his casino and the scope of his power, until he chokes to death while eating some iguana on a stick. The mutants are slowed, but not stopped, by the brave defenders of Junktown. When the army finishes their brutal siege, nothing of Junktown remains. The Brotherhood of Steel helps the other human outposts drive the mutant armies away with minimal loss of life on both sides of the conflict. The advanced technology of the Brotherhood is slowly reintroduced into New California with little disruption or chaos. The Brotherhood wisely remains out of the power structure and becomes a major research and development house. The Brotherhood of Steel, under new leadership after the death of Rhombus, becomes an overzealous techno-religious dictatorship. In 20 years, the Steel Plague devastates the newly formed New California Republic and starts a dark age that could last 1,000 years. The Brotherhood of Steel repels the first wave of mutant invasion, but a traitor in their midst causes the Citadel to fall. Fortunately, the advanced technology is mastered slowly by the mutants, and they were unable to use it against you. With your assistance, Old Harold brings the ghoul population of the hub into equality with the humans. The two sides work together, and the hub prospers. Old Harold is still alive, as far as anyone knows. The hub disperses before the might of the mutant army, and will never recover. Thanks to your persistence, the Raiders are destroyed as an effective fighting force and disband. None of the Raider survivors are ever heard from again. The Desert Raiders eventually regroup and manage to terrorize small communities in the years following your adventures. The Desert Raiders pillage most of the northern parts of New California. They are a scourge that lasts for years, until a rebel army of mutants brings them down. Your mission beneath a mutant stronghold is successful. Your actions today will influence the outside world for years to come. Your mission beneath the cathedral is successful. Your actions today will influence the outside world for years to come. Your involvement with the various places and people of the wasteland is well documented by future historians. Only a single question remained unanswered. What happened to you? You march into the desert sands, leaving the shattered corpse of the Overseer behind you, never to return to the vault. You march into the desert sands, leaving the vault behind you. Interplay Productions presents Fallout, a post-nuclear role-playing game. Fallout, a post-nuclear adventure. After the Enclave's destruction, the refugees of Arroyo and Vault 13 resettled, building a new community with the aid of the Garden of Eden creation kit. Finding themselves hundreds of miles from their vault, the members of Vault 13 chose to join the villagers in establishing a new community, and their technical expertise, combined with the villagers' survival skills, allowed the new settlement to grow and prosper. 2 generations of the same bloodline were reunited, and their savior, the Chosen One, became elder, presiding over the village in the years to come. The destruction of the mutants ensured the death of the town. Without their strength and ability to withstand the toxins within the mine, the valuable ore proved unattainable. Those who caused this destruction rejoiced at first, until they realized the foolishness of what they had done. They struggled to keep the community flourishing, but to no avail. The winds and the waste scoured Broken Hills from the map. With the destruction of the conspiracy to destroy the mutants, Broken Hills began to thrive. Then, the uranium ran out. The city, having lost its sole reason for existing, slowly dispersed. The residents carried their riches with them, leaving the place a windswept, desolate ghost town. A few holdouts remained, attempting to eke out a pathetic existence. But eventually, they too disappeared. Shortly after your last departure, the powder keg of racial tension in Broken Hills exploded. Racist humans fought against mutants, ghouls, and humans who sided with the mutants. The few survivors of the battle destroyed the mine, ensuring no one else could profit by it, and disappeared into the wastes. With the support of the New California Republic, the Vault 15 squatters soon became self-sufficient and productive members of society. The squatters of Vault 15 continued their meaningless, non-productive lives. No one noticed when the desert wastes finally claimed the squat. Without any viable economy, the den soon vanished into the wasteland. With Metzger gone, slavery disappeared from the area. Becky's casino bar grew quickly, and Rebecca Dyer's reputation as an honest casino and bar owner brought her the business needed to buy out her competition and expand. The den flourished, and it soon gained a reputation for being a tough but honest community. Metzger's business in the slave trade soon faded with the removal of the Mordino family. The den continued to attract criminals, and Metzger's business practices delved further into drugs and prostitution. The den soon became a rallying point and a safe haven for raiders. Metzger's slave trade in the den expanded greatly, giving him influence and power throughout most of the area. Breeding pens were started, and eventually, no one was safe from the threat of being enslaved. Travelers avoided the den, hearing of the evils committed within its walls. Rest in peace, chosen one. You have perished. The wasteland has claimed your life. Arroyo attempts to send out others to search for the Gek, but they die quickly, and the village soon follows. You have died. Your village is lost, doomed to die of starvation. You have died. Your quest to find the Garden of Eden and return it to your village has failed. You have died. You shall never know what happened to your kidnapped village. You have died, along with everyone else on the earth. The Enclave triumphs, releasing the FEV virus into the atmosphere. Your death has sealed the fate of everyone else on Earth. The Enclave triumphs, releasing the FEV virus into the atmosphere. Millions die, and the Earth falls silent again. You fought valiantly, but to no avail. The Enclave triumphs, and soon the entire world dies. Arroyo's elder lived for many years after the destruction of the Enclave. She was pleased that the ancient separation between Vault 13 and the Vault Dweller had been reconciled, and many were the times she told you that she wished the Vault Dweller were alive to have seen the reconciliation take place. The elder passed away in her sleep, certain that the safety of your new village had been secured and was now flourishing. Many of the older Arroyo residents believe that she now lives in the Vault of the Sky, telling the Vault Dwellers of your brave deeds. The Gecko reactor meltdown had terrible consequences for the region. The resultant radioactivity and heat emanating from the reactor killed every living creature within a 10-kilometer radius and poisoned the area for years to come. Vault City's perceived threat from the peaceful ghouls of Gecko was at an end. Repairing Gecko's power plant prevented any further radioactivity from leaking into Vault City's groundwater. Though this eased tensions between the two communities, they still maintain an uneasy truce. Optimizing Gecko's reactor created a power surplus in Gecko. The Vault City Council, unable to expand because of their limited power supply, yielded to internal pressure and was forced to take over Gecko to control the reactor. The peaceful ghouls of Gecko became slaves and spent the rest of their lives serving Vault City. Optimizing Gecko's power plant became the first step in forging a spirit of cooperation between Gecko and Vault City. Gecko's increased power production became instrumental in helping Vault City's expansion. The harsh xenophobia of many of Vault City's leaders faded into obscurity, while ghoul and human labored side by side to create a center of learning and tolerance where once had stood only enmity and distrust. Eventually, the citizens of Vault City tired of having their groundwater radiated by the ghouls' leaking atomic reactor in Gecko. In a wave of xenophobic fear and hatred, the well-armed soldiers of Vault City slaughtered the peaceful ghouls and shut down the reactor for good. Unable to harness any additional sources of power, Vault City eventually stagnated and died, itself a victim of its own hatred. You still hear mention of Harold from time to time. Apparently, the tree growing from his head has gotten larger, and if rumors are to be believed, fruit is growing from it. The seeds are said to be remarkably tough, and several of them have taken root even in the most barren stretches of the wasteland. You're dead. Again, time to reload. Hope you saved your game, 'cause you're dead. Here's a picture of your corpse. Not pretty. Boy, are you stupid and dead. Inspired by your example, Marcus eventually traveled across the Great Mountains to the east, searching for other refugees from the Master's army. You never heard from him again. The residents of Modoc eventually find your body a few miles from the outhouse. The stench is so bad, they leave your corpse to rot in the waste. Armed with flares and clubs, the people of Modoc invaded the Slag's underground city. The Slags were quickly defeated, and the Modoc residents slaughtered every man, woman, and child they found. Rumor of this vicious attack spread far and wide, and fear motivated MODOK's neighbors to attack and destroy the town. The extermination of the Slags only created new problems for MODOK. Unable to find the Slags' underground cistern to sustain the crops, MODOK was hit hard by the resultant drought. Over the next several years, the people of MODOK either moved away or died of starvation. Relations between the Slags and the residents of MODOK flourished. Between the two peoples, MODOK prospered and became a major farming community, supplying all the outlying regions with food. Your help with Vault 15 launched the New California Republic's push to civilize its neighbors. Though there were many more obstacles to overcome, the NCR now had a foothold into the northern wastes. The failure of diplomacy at Vault 15 slowed the New California Republic's growth into the north. Embarrassed by the failure, President Tandy was replaced by Roger Weston. When the new government finally returned to Vault 15, they found nothing but a ghost town. Already weakened by the failure to annex Vault 15, President Tandy was forced to retire when her own Vice President Carlson accused her of complicity in Councilman Weston's death. As president, Carlson wasted no time in securing his grip on power. Under his rule, expansion slowed, since he was more concerned about lining his own pockets than furthering the cause of civilization. Shaken by the assassination of Vice President Carlson, right-wing elements seized control of Congress and set the New California Republic on a path to military rule. Eventually, the survivors of the Enclave found a new home in the ranks of the NCR. The inhabitants of New Reno were slaughtered, and the city collapsed into ruin. No lights shine there now. The streets home only to packs of wild dogs and vultures. The desert tribes avoid the giant graveyard, claiming the city is haunted by evil spirits. Some say the destruction of New Reno was a judgment from a higher power. Within a year of the Enclave's destruction, the Wright family turned from criminal activity to legitimate pursuits. Several schools and churches were established in New Reno, along with a law enforcement body that crippled the influence of the families. Though New Reno lost much of its edge, the city obtained a certain solidity that appealed to newcomers. Many came to Reno not to visit, but to live, and the population increased threefold. Today, the test scores of New Reno High School graduates are greater than many Californian schools before the war. Though the Wright family never completely recovered from Richard's death, the knowledge that their killer had been brought to justice eased their troubled sleep. Though a murderer had been found and punished, the true identity of the man who had killed Mr. Wright's son was never discovered. The murder was never spoken of again, and became a closed chapter in the Wright family history. Myron died less than a year after the defeat of the Enclave, stabbed by a Jet addict while drinking in the den. His discovery of Jet was quickly forgotten, and now there is no one who remembers his name. In the years following the destruction of the Enclave, a new family arose in New Reno, following the example of a simple tribal that had once visited their city. They were few in number, but surprisingly resourceful. Driven by religious fervor, they took control of New Reno and put the other families to the spear. After their victory, they sent out many messengers across Northern California, looking for their founder, without success. Many felt that the founder had been taken by the fortune spirits and now dwelled in a golden casino paradise in the sky. Not long after the destruction of the Enclave, the Bishop family of New Reno was blessed with a child. This child seemed to have little in common with the Bishops, preferring instead to spend his days exploring the wastes. When he turned 13, he seized control of the Bishop family and led them to victory over the remaining New Reno families. He died quietly in his sleep at the age of 73, never having known his real father. The Bishop family of New Reno rose to prominence over the next few years, forming a strong political alliance with the New California Republic and Vault City. Many mysterious deaths and closed-door proceedings surrounded the formation of the alliance, but in the end, New Reno became part of the civilized world. The other families were soon absorbed, and New Reno became a prime tourist location for the new republic. In the decades after the alliance, several bishops rose to political power and were instrumental in the passage of several amendments protecting gambling rights and prostitution. The Salvatore family of New Reno, having profited from their ties to Navarro, used their laser weaponry to burn the other families into submission. The resultant massacre was dubbed Ash Friday and is still celebrated in New Reno to this day. The Mordino family grew greatly in power as Jet's influence spread across Northern California. Within a year, they had seized control of New Reno and expanded their empire, absorbing the Den and other surrounding areas. There was little violence in the conquest, as Jet had weakened all resistance to Mordino rule. With their jet production halted with the discovery of a cure, the Mordino family quickly lost ground in New Reno and were absorbed by the other families. Most became enforcers or slaves, and the name Mordino was soon forgotten. Less than a month after the Enclave's destruction, a mob war broke out in New Reno streets. The Wrights, armed with an arsenal of weaponry that dated back to the pre-war years, leveled the casinos of the other families with rocket launchers. The mob war was clocked as lasting a little over 43 minutes, and when the smoke cleared, half of New Reno had been demolished. To this day, it is commonly taught that the Wright family were the founders of New Reno. Within months after the Enclave's destruction, war broke out in New Reno streets. The Wrights, believing the Mordinos responsible for the death of one of their family, attacked the Desperado Casino. The running gun battle that ensued lasted little more than a day, and the Wrights were massacred to the last woman and child. Their mansion lies vacant now, and there are few New Reno inhabitants who remembered who once lived there. The destruction of the Enclave erased all trace of President Richardson from history. Now the title of president is used simply as a boogeyman to frighten children. After Doc Johnson helped treat the miners during the Great Jet Scare, the citizens of Vault City voted Doc Johnson into the mayor's seat. Under the doctor's patient hand, Redding forged closer ties with Vault City until, some years later, Vault City annexed Redding, granting Vault City's citizenship to only 10% of Redding's population. Several years after the Chosen One sold the excavator chip to dangerous Dan McGrew, Dan used the superior production of his Morning Star mine to buy the Cocoweef mine and then to reopen the great Winnemingo mine. Dan then used his industrial clout to forge an alliance of convenience with the families of New Reno, trading gold in return for protection. Several years after buying the excavator chip from the Chosen One, Marge LaBarge was able to purchase and control both the Morning Star and the newly opened Cocoweef mines. Marge was an easy choice for mayor, and using her new political power, she made Redding join the growing New California Republic in return for a seat in the NCR's Hall of Congress. The gold-producing town of Redding soon found itself in the unenviable position of a scrap of meat being torn by 3 jealous vultures. Sooner than many would have expected, there was nothing left of the scrap that was once Redding. For Vault City, New Reno, and the New California Republic had laid waste to what was once an area of plenty. Nothing now exists but the desiccated husk of what was once Redding. The She, demoralized and leaderless after your rampage through their town, slowly drifted apart. They blended into other towns, hoping to find a place free from the depredations of killers. The strain of plant the scientists were growing mutated, gaining a measure of sentience. It killed the laboratory technicians and took over the laboratory in which it was first conceived. It took a massive concentration of resources to crush the being, and this left the She poverty-stricken. They disappeared into the wastes. The She flourished, creating a botanical scourge on the radiation surrounding their beloved town. Though this vine could not grow in other soils, the She took care to nourish it in their lands. They continued to grow in strength and prominence, forming the basis of a new empire. The scientists grew tired of waiting for the Starfather to come for them or provide the fuel they needed. Using a cheap derivative fuel, they launched an abortive effort to reach the stars themselves. Their shuttle exploded, Moments after takeoff, the scientists ensured a safe and speedy launch of the Quetzal. Unfortunately, they didn't account for having recycled air aboard their ship, and they perished in orbit. The scientists, unable to figure out how to create an airtight seal on their ship, went ahead and launched it anyway, believing that the Starfather would protect them once they left Earth's atmosphere. They perished in orbit. As for the tanker vagrants, well, as vagrants do, they drifted on. With your aid, the Death Claws of Vault 13 became a thriving community. When the Vault could no longer hold their numbers, a peaceful campaign of expansion was launched to claim the surrounding lands. By eliminating the Death Claws of Vault 13, you banished yet another species of the realms of extinction, proving once again that genocide is a viable solution to any problem. The slaughter of Vault City has become the stuff of legend. One day it was a thriving community, and the next, the body of its citizens lay strewn throughout the streets. It looked as if raiders had sacked the city, but no bodies of the attackers were ever found. Their vault was plundered of all its technology, and refugees from Gecko soon moved into the broken walls of the city. The slaughter of Vault City has become the stuff of legend. One day it was a thriving community, and the next, the body of its citizens lay strewn throughout the streets. It looked as if raiders had sacked the city, but no bodies of the attackers were ever found. Their vault was plundered of all its technology, and the inhabitants of Gecko soon moved into the broken walls of the city. In a few short months, they had rebuilt the city and restored much of the systems that had been damaged by the raiders. Over the next few years, the background radiation from Gecko's power plant began to cause mutations in the Vault City population, forcing the citizens to relocate to NCR. NCR, however, recalling past animosity, relegated the Vault City refugees to the status of second-class citizens. The correspondence between NCR and Vault City continued, and a few years after the destruction of the Enclave, Roger Weston assumed the head of the NCR Council. He immediately set limits for NCR's expansion north, and in a landmark settlement, passed an amendment that formally recognized Vault City's independence. Shortly after this settlement, Weston suffered a heart attack and retired from politics. He moved north to Vault City for medical treatment and eventually married Joanne Lynette in the following year. In the years to come, Vault City suffered greatly from raider attacks. Eventually, the situation grew so desperate, the citizens were forced to request aid from NCR. Within a month, a large detachment of the NCR's military was stationed in Vault City. The military presence quickly became an occupation force, and Vault City became the first of NCR's border territories. In the years following the destruction of the Enclave, Vault City continued to stagnate, choking on its own isolationism. Its Vault 8 generator, which was never intended to support such a large population, prevented Vault City's necessary expansion. Eventually, the city was absorbed by NCR, which had spread steadily northward since its founding. War never changes.
You there. What are you doing outside of the reconditioning center? Do I know you? What project are you on? And who do you think you are barging into my office? Affected by the test serums, I see. I'll get you some help. Guards? Doctor, I think you've been exposed to the FEV. Poor soul. I'll get you some help. Guards, now be a good mutant and stay put. Guards! Hello there, I'm President Richardson, and I'm damn proud to meet you. Vault 13. You've been doing your country an invaluable service. Hello, Doctor. Do you have a report? Good news, I hope. Our salvation is in your team's hands. You there! Shouldn't you be working on the project? Mankind's salvation depends on you. Oh, that's quite all right. All those inoculation shots would disorient anyone. Let me get one of the Secret Service to escort you back. Oh, it's no problem at all. Hello. I could use a little assistance here. Well, I'm sure we can work something out. What's on your mind? Do you really think you can intimidate the President of the United States? For your information, the guards have orders to shoot me rather than let anyone or anything endanger the project. I wouldn't be of any use as a hostage. You don't really expect that to work, do you? If you try it, my guards have orders to shoot me rather than let anything or anyone endanger the project. I'm staying right here. Now, are you going to shoot me or not? Now, let's, what is it you want anyway? Okay, whatever you say, I'll just sit here quietly. It's, nice to meet you. Goodbye. Guards? Guards! I am the President of the United States of America. The Vice President is in the office outside. If you belonged here, you'd know that. Who are you, and what are you doing here? Aha! Of course, Your Eminence. Why don't I just call for some refreshments? We can talk and work things out. Can't we all just get along? Well, just 1 second. I'd like some refreshments for myself and an unexpected guest. A very important, unexpected guest. Right away? Somebody's loony here, all right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I am the elected representative of the people. The United States does still exist. God bless us, everyone. We've just had to adapt in order to survive after the war. You really don't know, do you? Let me tell you about mankind's salvation. A little history first. A little history. Well, hello there. Glad to make time for one of our gallant troopers, but I am rather busy, so, what can the President of the United States of America do for you? You're back? What is it you want? Hello, I'm the President of the United States of America, and you are... Hello there, I'm the President of the United States of America, and I must say I have seldom seen a stranger or sorrier delegation of misfits in all my life. Just who are you to barge in on me this way? Oh, that's a shame. Conversation with a genuine mutant like you? It'd certainly paint me a picture of what life's like in that radioactive hell on the mainland. There was a great war, long before we were born. Our gallant soldiers fought from the Yukon to the Yangtze. Vice President Byrd may look like a drooling idiot, but I'll have you know, that man's a national hero. He's one of the bravest men I know. He volunteered to try one of the early versions of the FEV toxin antidote. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out the way we'd hoped. It's tiny mocking minds like yours that prove the superiority of real humans over mutants. He may yet come around. In fact, there may even be some unforeseen benefits. His spelling ability is actually improved. Because you are. Your tribe's DNA has changed since your ancestor left the vault. Unavoidable. All that background radiation you've been exposed to. We try to keep ourselves safe and secure from radiation. That's what separates humans like me from mutants like you. We were winning, too. And then those damn Reds launched. We barely got our birds up. Well, no, it didn't. But at least it knocked the damn Red Menace back into the Stone Age. Well, no, not quite. You see, we had planned ahead. We were ready. We had a number of sanctuaries that would enable the glorious American civilization to endure. This facility, the vaults, were part of the great plan. Actually, they worked almost exactly the way they were supposed to. You might call it a social experiment on a grand scale. The vaults were set up to test humanity. Some had not enough food synthesizers. Others had only men in them. Yet others were designed to open after only 6 months. They each had a unique set of circumstances designed to test the occupants. Vault 13 was a special case. It was supposed to remain closed until the subjects were needed. Vault 13 was, in scientific parlance, a control group. An unfortunate and unforeseen accident. However, as it turns out, a rather fortuitous one. As it turns out, we needed test subjects from untainted pre-war human stock, your ancestors in Vault 13, and some freshly mutated stock, the villagers from Arroyo, for the project. It's almost ready. Humanity's salvation is almost at hand, and the United States of America will be the progenitor of that rebirth. The only way for true humans and democracy to be safe is to cleanse the mutants from the globe. We humans will take back that which is rightfully ours. The project will cleanse all the mutants from our fair land and the rest of the globe. Once again, America will be the world's policeman. We found a research facility in operational shape about 70 years ago, a former military base that had been used to research a special virus. Yes, the FEV virus. It was originally developed to turn soldiers into super warriors, but it failed. The warriors were tough and strong, but far too stupid. However, our brilliant chemical corps altered it to turn it into a staggeringly effective killer. Any humanoid that isn't inoculated against its effects before its release will die. That is the project. No, that's humanity's last best hope. That's what we've been working towards all these years. We've run short of certain critical chemicals. We can get them from the drug labs of New Reno. If the mutant mobsters use our guns to kill each other, just saves us the trouble. Simple. Navarro is an isolated base. Our vertebrates have a limited range. They refuel there. I'm sure you think so. But tests performed on your tribesmen have all shown that you are guilty of mutation. And it's a damn good thing the project is ready. Some of the members of your tribe are showing some extremely interesting changes. If the danger to true humanity weren't so great, I would think about studying them, but that's not to be. Oh, but that's one of the advantages of the FEV virus. We can release it right here, and the jet stream will carry it worldwide. It'll have plenty of time to cleanse every nook and cranny of the globe. Test subjects? Your villagers are all descended from Vault stock, and we had to make sure that the FEV toxin was still effective. The subjects from Vault 13 test that, and an inoculation against the FEV. It's hardly necessary. I'm sure we could, and it would work, but there's no reason to do so. Never. Part of the president's job is to make the tough decisions. A lot of near-humans will sacrifice their lives for the return of humanity. Humans will prevail. You can't stop it. The tests are complete, and the toxin is ready for release. In hours, your villagers will be the first to make the ultimate sacrifice. The other mutants will follow. An unfortunate footnote in the continuing history of the human race. Oh, I don't relish this decision. If there was another way... But there isn't. No price is too high for the survival of the human race. If you were human, you'd feel the same way. Yes, I do. Even killing me won't help you. There's nothing you can do to stop the release. You could try, I suppose, but soon the staff of the Enclave and Navarro will be inoculated. We just have to distribute the supplies, a matter of hours. Besides, the Enclave is a sealed unit. No air or contaminants get in or get out. You might find that tougher than you think. If you do, I'll go to my reward knowing that I died a patriot and a servant of humanity. Very moving. But the radical changes your villagers and other mutants show is a far cry from the gradual changes of natural evolution. It's very possible, indeed, in which case our mission is even more vital to the survival of the human race. That's the spirit. God bless America. You should probably get back to your isolation ward now, though. Why, against the FEV toxin, of course. Damn brave sacrifice you and the other members of Vault 13 are making. On behalf of the United States government and all humanity, I thank you. Now, we better get you back to your ward. So what? If your kind is allowed to flourish, it'll mean the end of the human race as we know it. We can't allow radioactive freaks to squeeze humans into extinction. Not at all. Look to the future. Sure, muties and men could get along for a while, but before you know it, the numeric pressure of your kind would tell. No, a line must be drawn in the sand. The buck stops here. The government of the United States of America has been working towards a solution for quite some time. I assure you I'm quite sane, as is everyone on the project. We're dedicated to the salvation of the human race. You can call single-minded dedication to a cause madness, I suppose, but if so, it's divine madness. I don't think this tired old planet's big enough for 2 top dogs. If it's us or you, well, I'm going to choose us. As the embodiment of the executive branch, I bear the burden of ensuring the survival and prosperity of the United States and of humanity itself. A heavy burden. And yet, if it means the return of the Earth to our children and to their children, I bear it gladly.